Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. I hope you're having a great day. Let's take a look here at Solana, see what's going on. I apologize for the lack of coverage recently. I don't know if you can hear my voice, but fighting a bit of a cold here. Feel slightly better than yesterday, so I'm going to do a little bit more work-wise. But I can tell you that Solana is definitely one of those coins right now that's following Bitcoin fairly consistent. So if you watch my Bitcoin videos, you probably know what's going to happen with Solana as far as the overall trend. We're in a descending trend right now. There's no reason to take a long at this point. Granted, we have some key level supports that we may want to focus on, but those are not reasons to take along when everything else is telling us the price is going to continue lower, right? So just, again, best practice, that's what I'm going to try to impart to you here. So if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. If you've been watching for a while, thanks again for just being an amazing part of my life. My Solana community is actually pretty amazing. So thank you so much for the wonderful feedback and appreciate you. Congrats to our community members here for our short position. We took a short from 96.5 to 94.5 for Bitcoin, good 21% on a 10x leverage short. We took a lot of profits previous to that too as well from a Bitcoin long from what, 92.5 to 98, 99K, and then BNB and ICP as well. So it's been a good profitable week for us here so far. So what we want to look at first, quick to preface here is just kind of last 12 hours for Solana. Now, I got the last 12 hours pulled up here just because Solana's larger time frame charts doesn't really, it tells us stuff, tells us kind of like key levels, but for the most part, we're so far away from the $200 mark that it makes a lot more sense to consider the price going lower, especially with this extra little pocket of liquidation here. So we got 182 to 183 is a rough estimate for liquidation. More importantly, probably just say 180, okay? Because again, these are late longs buying the dip. Why they're buying the dip with leverage, I don't know. It makes no sense at all. But, gamblers are going to gamble. It's okay. It's just the way it goes. If you're gambling right now at this level, good for you. No discredit at all. Some people prefer that. But I don't like to, leave things up to chance. I like to be, a little bit more specific with my trades. But, hey, who am I to talk? I've just been trading for 20 years professionally, so no big deal, right? Anyways, what I want to get at here, let's go ahead and clean up the charts. I had some macro stuff pulled up here. We'll talk about that later. For right now, it's mostly about the transition from, smaller to larger time frames, okay? Because the overall trend and the overall, larger picture, it's pretty obvious to see that we're in a descending trend. We're going to still be in that trend for quite a while. In fact, even if we close above the 20-day SMA, which is this guy here, 200 plus, we're still going to be in a situation where we got to respect the trend and make sure we don't just take along into the blind, right? So we're probably days away from taking along with confidence as far as a longer term hold is concerned. From a short term perspective, that might be a little bit different, but I don't really think so. And let me explain more about that. First of all, we're below both moving averages that are important, the 20 and the 50-day SMA, that are above the price action 200 plus. So to make it simple, a close above 200 would be maybe a starting point of getting back on track. And that depends on how soon it happens. If we look at everything else though, we're under 50 on the RSI, stochastic swinging down, money flow index is low, MACD is trying to converge but hasn't yet. There's like 9 out of 10 reasons not to take a long position on the macro. When we look at the smaller term time frames, the 4-hour time frame, we can see that we're still underneath both moving averages, right? We got the 50-day and the 20-day hanging above the price action. And then obviously we can see here too with the RSI still remaining below 50. Money flow index is low. Stochastic's trying to swing up. That doesn't mean much at all, honestly. Unless you're like a buy the super dip person while you're watching it on a daily time frame, or sorry, 1 minute time frame. If you're day trading, what I'm getting at here is you can find some success, trading, buying certain dips, but if you're going to hold for any, decent period of time, an hour or longer, there's really no reason to buy this dip. It makes no sense. I'm not referring to a spot bag, by the way, folks. I have limit orders on Solana all the way down to $100, okay? Usually roughly every $5. So, 180, 175, 170, the whole thing, just continuing to go lower. Again, that's just dollar cost averaging for a spot bag. It's a different story altogether than a leverage play, right? Everything I talk about in these videos in most cases is regarding leverage because that's just what people do, okay? There's no other way around it. And there's nothing here letting us know that that is a viable option. Let's circle back around here. I forgot to look at see here, liquidation delta, we're now shifting bearish. Let me quickly refresh this here. And we can see here, yep, we are at this point basically at equilibrium. We're pretty much ready to see that shift in momentum. We look here at open interest. We can recognize that people have the most amount of open positions at 186 to 187. Okay, so that's like kind of just implying that a lot of folks bought the dip at the 185, really close to that, and the price is now below that. In turn, what that means for us is that 185, 186 is now a resistance. Okay? And the reason why is because a lot of folks bought that level. That creates a resistance range. I know it seems strange to understand, but the more average people are in certain levels, then the harder it is to get past that. And the reason why is because a lot of folks will sell when it recovers back to break even, right? Because they want to get out of the bad trade. That's why the price action stays below that level in a lot of cases. And market makers know that too. They'll do the same thing. Anyways, 4-hour time frame is no good. Hourly time frame, recognize this here, same thing as well. In fact, we did a nice little Ichimoku play yesterday with our Bitcoin short. When the price action came up to the cloud here, I had our entries in the 96.5 to 97.5 range. Okay, so again, shorts at that level is typically a better strategy than trying to be a breakout trader right here. You have no idea. There's so many breakout traders yesterday that got absolutely destroyed by Bitcoin. It's not even funny. Their open interest yesterday was at 96.5. That means people added their position right here when the price broke out. And what do you know? The price rejected almost instantly. That's why in any breakout, you want to wait for it to retest that level first. Okay, that's the common practice or best practice to do that. All right. Anyways, I brought that up. It's super relevant because we took that trade in profit. But while I didn't short Solana, I didn't have honestly the time to really look at Solana yesterday, so that was part of it. But hindsight's 2020, it would have probably been a pretty good position to consider shorting. If you look at this here, previous resistance, turns support, turns resistance. Look at this here. Price action has difficulty crossing here and here. Comes up to retest, continues higher. That would have been a consideration for long, right? Hindsight, obviously 2020, but the price comes back down here, didn't even bother to reject there. However, comes back up for a retest. What do you know? Price rejects there and comes down, okay? So again, this is not, again, an exact science, but these are just little things to kind of add to your list there. Simply put, when you have previous resistances, they work as new supports, and then they flip again as a resistance later. So we're seeing here 193. The whole point of me mentioning this is that 193 is the new resistance for Solana. If it comes back up to retest that level, we may see an initial rejection. Between now and then, it makes absolutely no sense at all to consider taking a short with this coin. It is a very bad idea, and I think that further downside is probable at this point. I'm going to post an updated playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, Discord as per usual. If you're not familiar, it looks a little something like this, where I just kind of give you, indications of where the coins are going to go based on certain patterns and or what we discussed in the charts here. So I would not consider a long position with Solana right now. It just makes no sense. Once again, you can probably gamble and have some success. Just at the end of the day, promise me that you'll understand that throwing money at the wall and hoping it sticks is not a good strategy. Okay, that's basically what you're going to be doing if you take a long right now, even though the price action is probably going to take off or go up just because of me saying it's going to go down. That's generally how it works, but it's kind of a joke, but also some truth in there. Anyways, thanks again for watching. You're an amazing part of my life. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to like the videos when you watch them, and we'll see you in the next one. Have yourself a great rest of your day. Take care.